Hello everybody, this is Edward here at the Golden Palace. Got a rare day in the rainy season, nice sunny morning, very beautiful. We just had breakfast and John had his morning swim. Maybe Leonardo can swim this morning too, hon. He hasn't swam for a while and today's a really good day to swim. So he'll probably swim because it's been so rainy lately. Because, you know, especially in the deep jungle here, we get lots of rain. But really beautiful this morning. So I'm just kind of happy to get out, walk around. Usually when John's done with his meal every morning, we walk back and forth on the driveway about 30 times, between 30 and 40 minutes worth of walking. And today's the 25th of November, and today's supposed to be the day that they read the meter, but they haven't even trained the meter people to read the new net meter meters. So they don't even know how to read it because they haven't been trained. And we've had this meter since August. And we have not gotten one bill yet because the IT personnel at the power company and the administration have been trying to hammer out and produce a proper bill for the net metering people that are producing solar power online and giving it to the grid. So they have to have a whole calculation of, okay, they have to pay the solar producers for putting power onto the grid and subtract that from power like at night that they're taking off the grid. So like I say, it's been since August we got the meter and we have not received one bill yet because they don't have their shit together of, you know, just some administration and I mean, there's a bunch of other power companies in this country. I've even seen the bills online where they have, you know, how many credits you had for the previous month, how many total accumulated credits you have for the year, and the calculations right there, and a clear deal of how to calculate it all out for what your monthly bill is. And if for some reason they can't do it here. So we're making real good power. 2,800, 3,400, 1,300. So that right there is about between 9 and 10,000 pesos or kilowatt hours that we're producing right now, and it's about 9:30 a.m. something like that. So that's perfect. I mean, it's almost a perfectly clear day, which is, like I say, it's pretty darn rare in the dry season or in the wet season, rainy season that we got going right now. Yesterday it was rain all day long and it was completely overcast all day. I didn't even run the air conditioning until noon. I ran it from noon to 2 p.m. That's it, because no power. But right now I have all three pumps on. You can see it's really giving it a really good filtering right now. And I added chlorine this morning and it looks really good. We cleaned the pool, brushed it, because we couldn't do anything the last 2 days because of rain. But it looks pretty good now. I'm just going to keep filtering it for another few hours. And here's the chef kitchen. Every morning I open the door here and turn on the fans because there's, you know, we don't keep any windows open in here and it kind of gets muggy and stuff. So we don't do much cooking in here. I used to cook in here all the time, and I made homemade baby food for Leonardo from a tiny infant to 1 year old. And since then, he's been eating solid food, so I don't come in here and cook much anymore. Once in a while, I'll put something in the crock pot there. But we're getting low. We have this refrigerator here for all our extra vegetables and eggs. We buy eggs directly from the chicken factory where they all lay their eggs, and it's located probably 15 kilometers from here and pretty close to where Lizelle and Ruel have their place where their parents live. It's way up in the mountains and more into the interior and toward the south of here. And I spent 4,200 pesos for 12 flats of large eggs. So there's 30 eggs per flat. So it's like, 360 eggs, something like that. So, and we eat all that in a month because we eat lots of eggs. And because I have 4 eggs a day, my son John has 4 eggs a day. Actually, he has 5 eggs a day. And then, the whole family, we probably eat probably close to a dozen eggs a day. So it's a big part of our diet. It's protein and fat diet. It's the carnivore diet. We try to stick to that closest we can. And so it consists of, everything that we cook is with butter. So when I have a steak probably every 2-3 days. I'll have a steak, and then I can only eat half of it because it's so filling. And then I'll save that steak for another. So 2 meals for a steak for me. And because the steaks are so expensive, we're on such a tight budget right now. And we're still trying to build our savings back up from when I had surgery on my foot and had my toe amputated. But we're still trying to build up that. So I'm religiously saving $800 a month, and then the other $1,000 a month goes to the food and everything that we need to do to keep this place running. So that's super low for a family of between 10 and 15, depending if we have guests and stuff, plus a dog. The only animal that we have right now that we have to feed is turkey, 1 turkey, and we didn't cook him for Thanksgiving because we don't celebrate Thanksgiving here in the Philippines. Maybe someday we will. I have that big chef kitchen. I would love to do that, but this year it's not going to happen because we're on such a tight budget. I really can't afford anything extra. So I have still about 3,000 in savings, or no, 6,000 US in savings, but that's for medical emergencies only, and I don't want to dig into that. So once I build that back up to 8,000, what I had before I got the surgery, then our budget will go up, but that's going to take probably 3-4 months. That's just all the stuff that you got to do. You got to stay disciplined as much as you can. In this day and age, it's really hard to do, especially with inflation going up so much. Every Thursday here, we have a farmer's market in Mapong, the local village from here. And maybe every other Thursday, we'll go there and get some vegetables, fruits and vegetables and stuff that the family eats. John and I and Leonardo, the boys, don't eat many fruits and vegetables because it's off the carnivore diet, but we have a little tiny bit. John and Leonardo have more of that stuff than me because they're children and they need a little bit extra of that, I believe, because I grew up like that in a rural home in northern Minnesota where I grew up with my dad, and we had a big huge garden, and we always ate fresh vegetables out of the garden all the time. And my whole life I've probably been sick 3 times, maybe 5 times, half a dozen times is it, my entire life. And I'm including everything from flus to colds to whatever. Honestly, maybe a half dozen times in 60 years. that I had anything wrong with me. So the only thing was I was born disabled with my club feet, and then now that I'm getting old, the neuropathy in my nerves from all the surgeries is so it's numb to the feel. I can still feel a little bit, but a big percentage of that feeling's gone. That's why when they amputated my left foot toe, my big toe, that's why I never even felt any pain. I never took any pain medicine whatsoever. They put me under during the surgery, but once I woke up out of post-recovery, out of surgery, I never had even one pain pill, not even Tylenol or anything, because there's very little feeling, and I feel nothing whatsoever. Well, during the healing process, it's been 5 weeks now since the surgery, and during the healing process, I've had a little bit of like soreness is all, and I have a super light limp still because I'm not, there's one small 50-cent piece wound, open wound that's covering over now. It's getting really healed up, but it's not totally done yet. So I'm putting not my full 100% weight on it yet, but it's 80-90% I'm putting on it now, and I walk around and there's no problem whatsoever really. So I'm doing good. So thank you for all your prayers and well wishes, everybody. So like I say, probably my biggest thing, probably the best thing, one of the best things I've ever done is solar, and this is my third solar system. I had 2 solar systems, actually 3 other solar systems on different properties in the US before I sold everything. But then now this is my 4th solar system, and I've had grid tie systems like what this one is, and I've had off-grid battery bank systems when I had a log home way up in the mountains north of Las Vegas, Nevada. And with a off-grid system, you don't pay the electric company a dime because there is no electric service from the electric company. So that's why you have a battery bank, and it's all you. You have to take care of your batteries. Like every 3 to 6 months, I had to fill my lead acid batteries with distilled water, and I had special breathing plugs on all of them because it lets off a gas. So you know, it's all maintenance, a lot more maintenance. But I never paid a dime to the power companies either. But those battery banks are expensive. It was $10,000, between $10,000 and $12,000 US for a brand new battery bank. That was 24 big, huge 2-volt batteries, massive bank, right? And I could, I had a fireplace, so I burned wood, and I had a propane gas furnace. And the gas furnace I could run for maybe 3 hours, 3-4 hours maybe, and then I'd have to shut it off because my batteries would be depleted. During the daytime, when the sun's hitting the panels real good, you can run almost anything for that period of time. But in the winter time there, you know, and plus I had mountain peaks, so I only had like between a 2 and a 4 hour window, depending on the weather that day, that I could really run the propane furnace. So I had a wood stove, and really that wood stove, I'd stoke that stove real good in the morning, and maybe once then in the evening I'd restoke it again, and that's it. I'd have to fill it maybe twice, 3 times maximum depending on the weather, and then that would keep the log home warm for all day long. So yeah, that's one thing I really miss is the cold weather and having a fire. Yeah, I can have a fire here, but it's already so hot all the time, right? It's the average temperature in the shade here is 84 degrees. So, okay, It's time for John to walk now. He and I are gonna walk back and forth. I'll take him, Lizelle. Okay, come on, buddy. Come on. You want to go walking? Walkie. Okay. John's autistic. He's my second born son. I have 3 sons, and John was 21 years old now. No, he's 22 years old. And he's autistic. He's a more severe autistic, where he's nonverbal, holds his ears, walks on his toes a lot. But he's in really good health. We feed him really good and care to him best we can, and give him exercise. And he swims in the pool almost every single day. Right, John? Right? Okay. So he'll repeat words, but he has a couple phrases that he'll say, but other than that, that's the extent of his verbal. So that's just one thing, it's one of the cards you're dealt in life is John. One of the cards I was dealt was John was an autistic child. And even my youngest son now, Leonardo, he has some autistic traits. He's not advanced state like John is. John's I don't know, they say it's like mild, medium, and high, or something like that. They've changed all the spectrum divisions of what condition the autistic child is in now. But like I say, see, John walks on his toes and holds his ears all the time, pretty much, and then he's nonverbal. But other than, and he can eat with a fork on his own, no problem. I don't ever have to worry about him when he's in the pool, because he is an absolute fish. He's a better swimmer than we are. He goes under the water. He does all kinds of stuff. There's no problem whatsoever with him in the pool. And he used to poop and pee all the time in the toilet and on his own, because we had trained him to that point. But like 2 years ago, he stopped going pee in the toilet. He'll go poop in the toilet still, but now he doesn't pee in the toilet unless you're always with him every second and making him sit on the toilet. So now he pretty much pees his bed all the time. So we're changing the sheets 2 to 3 times a day on his bed, and you have to clean that. So we have special bed, special everything, so we can keep him dry as we can. Hi, little boy. Hi. There's Leonardo.
Come here.
So, are you gonna have fun today?
He's studying that day.
So Leonardo's almost 3 years, 3 months, coming up soon on December 8th. And he was born 1 year, or not 1 year, 1 month premature, Leonardo was. He absolutely just wanted out of the womb, so kicked himself out at exactly 8 months, and he was born on the 8th, which is pretty cool. And he has the autistic traits he has is he doesn't, when you say his name, he doesn't look at you right away. He will if you say it several times, but he's pretty much in his own little world a lot of the time, right? He walks on his toes a little bit, not much compared to John, but then the biggest one is his speech. He can say some words and some phrases, and he's still learning. He loves learning words and numbers, and he knows all his colors. He knows everything, but his speech is way delayed. So we've been trying to work with him with his language the best we can. And usually they say with autistic kids, they're delayed up to 3 years on their speech. So it'll probably be another year or two, maybe around age 5, that hopefully he'll break out of that and start talking. And thing is, he can talk and communicate to you pretty darn good if he really wants something and he wants to do it himself. But if you're prompting him, you know, trying to get him to say stuff and do stuff, good luck, because he's not going to do it. I mean, he is super, super stubborn. I've heard him several times say please, you know, when he wants something. But if you're trying to get him to say please, good luck. He's never going to do it. Super stubborn. Anyways, it's a really nice day. I need to put my hoodie up before I get burned here. That's one thing I really believe in, is these hoodies. If you're in the Philippines, you better have hoodies. And this material right here is the stuff that's, if it gets wet, it's dry within 5 minutes. It's super, super lightweight. And it's like you're not even wearing a shirt. Cotton, I don't ever wear cotton here because it just becomes soaked with sweat right away. And if this becomes soaked with sweat, it's dry within 5 minutes if you get in the shade. I mean, this is the only way to go. It's almost 90%. This is what I'm wearing, this kind of material. See, John has the same kind. Right, buddy? Right, buddy? You. Good job. So that's just a tip for you guys, especially foreigners coming to the Philippines. You have to have this kind of material. Otherwise, you can be sweating your balls off and you just be drenched all the time. At least that's what I've found, and that's what I do. So, and then, like I say, this hoodie is pivotal. I mean, the sun you're gonna get skin cancer on your head. You're gonna get blistering. You're gonna get all that bad stuff that can happen. You know, real severe sunburn. Even if you're out, every single time that I go out in the sun, I put my hoodie on like this. Even if it's for 5-10 minutes, because the heat is so intense here, it's unbelievable. So it's a good tip for you for, you know, saving yourself from probably like a bad cancer someday if you don't. Okay. So anyways, yeah, that's just another tip for you guys to think about. I don't ever use sunscreen. I cover, right? Long sleeve, so it covers your skin, and hoodie covers your head and protects kind of your face too. Hoodies are the way to go. Just can't say it enough. So just walking around the property today, doing our back and forth walk. We do this 30-40 minutes every morning, and then also in the afternoon, especially if the weather's good. If the weather's real bad and rainy, we'll try to walk in the morning, even if it's raining, and then in the afternoon, if it's still raining, we won't walk. So that's the key. You gotta stay a little bit exercised. Usually I'd be a lot more exercised, but I was even walking a couple kilometers every morning there for a while before I got my toe amputated. But I'll probably start that up again once I'm fully healed on my foot. So anyways, just a day in the life in Philippines. Like I say, we live in the deep jungle in northwestern Mindanao, and I've spent my entire first pension on coconut plantation lands and this land, and the house, which is like 3,000 square foot house. It's got 3 floors, and the top floor is only master bedroom and master bath. Then we built that first after we bought this property, and then we built this store and this carport area, and then all the walls that surround the property, we built that first. Then after that, we built the function hall, which is back in there where we have karaoke. And then we built this, I call it the chef kitchen complex. It's a chef kitchen in that door. Then that door is a laundry facility, and that door is shower room, CR, and changing facility, changing for clothes when you're using the pool. And then after we built that chef complex, we built the tower. And then after the tower, the last thing was the pool. And that was 5 years, yeah, approximately 5 years of construction to build all that. And plus, like I say, all the hectares of land we have, which is like 10 hectare. Is that right? Let's see. No. 3, 5, 8. Yeah, close to 10 hectares. I think it's like 9 hectares of land. That's most of that land is just agricultural land. There's just trees. We grow trees, which will be someday processed for lumber, and then coconut trees. Some of that property didn't have any coconut trees on it, and we planted coconut trees, and they're growing now, probably producing a couple more years. And then we have like 350 producing coconut trees. And like this one here is a dwarf coconut. We planted this one here like 3 years ago, and it's producing coconuts now. And that's about as tall as it's going to get right there. So 6 foot, 8 foot, that's as tall as it gets. And so you can go right up to it and pick, cut it off with a knife, just standing there next to the tree. But most of these native coconut trees, like that one there, that's a native coconut where they're so tall you need a long pole to get that down. I've made videos, you can look on the coconut harvest. But that's a lot more work intense to get the coconuts, cut from the top of those trees. And so I say, like, all the coconut land, which is like 8, 9, 10 hectares of land, agricultural land, and then this property, and then all these buildings, which is, we drive some money from the store, which really not. You're usually a break even or a loss on the store. That's just a money pit, really. It's just a service that we provide to the community. And then the pool, we shared this pool with the community, and they just make donations if they ever want to book a private function, birthdays, anniversaries, reunions, anything. And here's the schedule of the donations of that. It's $5.9 for private party from Monday through Thursday, and it's $6.9 Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then just walk-ins, if you have 5 or more, it's 99 pesos. So if you just walk in, but you got to have 5 or more swimmers, you can swim for 99 pesos. And then the only thing you have to do in addition to that is pay for a table or donate for a table, and that's like anywhere from how big your table is, 1 to 300 pesos for that, for your table. So a lot of times we get people come here, 10, 15 people, just walk-ins, and then they, if it's 15 people, that's almost 1,500 pesos, and then additional 300, but it'd be 1,800 pesos if they get a big table for 15 people, and then they can have a birthday party for 1,800 pesos donated. And like I say before, many times the donations are only for the maintenance of the pool, keep it running, right? So we don't really make much off it, but then the money that we get from coconut harvest, we get 3 coconut harvests a year. We only, right now with the price at like 40 some pesos per kilo, we're only making maybe between 10 and 20,000 pesos per harvest on that. So what's that? 30,000 pesos per year. Yeah. So, like I say, only 3 harvests per year. If I said per month, I didn't mean that. It's like every 4 months we have a coconut harvest. The last coconut harvest was our smallest harvest, and we're not sure why. I think it's because it's a lot drier season this year. Because it was a really beautiful weather, dry season. We never had much rain since it stopped raining the end of last March. And it's been pretty beautiful. Just now in November, it's supposed to start the rainy season, right? So we've gotten more rain this month than we ever have the last 6 months. So anyway, so you make a little bit, pesos here and there, different things we're doing. So there's 3 different things we're doing. Plus we have 2 apartments or guest rooms in the tower, these 2 lower units, this floor and this floor. And we can do that, put that on an Airbnb, and eventually we will, but probably won't happen for quite a while because we haven't completed the inside of it yet. The only thing we need to complete it really is a couple pieces of furniture and a TV, and to hook the cable up to that so we can get TV for there. But we probably won't do that for a couple more years. But anyways, all together, everything that we've purchased here in the Philippines, I used my entire first pension and most of my 90% of my savings. I probably had 200,000 in savings, and I had a stock market big profit on gold mines that I made just before we built this mansion house of 200,000, so that's 400,000. Then my entire first pension, which was like 300,000. So that right there is 700,000. And I figured it up the other day, and I spent 600,000, between 500 and 600,000 on all the property and building all the buildings, all the construction, all the materials, all the land, everything. And then the other between 1 and 200,000 went to just living on the last 5 years. So that's where we're at, and now we're just on a small pension for life that we get from my second wife that passed away of cancer a few years back in 2012, that John and I received for life from their teachers union in Nevada. So we get that, and John gets a little bit from his disability, and that's all we got. We got 2 remittances per month for around 1,800 US per month, and that's what we live on. That's our budget. So, and like I say, we have 10 people here, and sometimes 15, because we have a lot of relatives that come in sometimes, and they'll, like, we have one of Lilibeth's sisters that live in the ocean. She'll bring fish or shells or clams or oysters or something from the ocean, which is pretty cool once in a while to do that, to eat that stuff. And as long as it's, seafood, that's part of the carnivore diet, so seafood's good, and fish. We try to buy the bigger tuna, not the yellowfin tuna, but the bigger tuna, and we'll buy 4 or 5 big fish, and we'll cut them up because there's no bones, right? And then we'll eat some fresh and then freeze the rest, and that'll last us a couple weeks. We try to do that every couple weeks. So we have fish, and beef is just so hard for me to get here. I can get it, but it's so expensive for USDA beef, like from the US or Brazil or Japan or Argentina. There's some really good beef you can buy those places, and but it's expensive, so I can't really buy that all the time. So this next time I'm so low on my budget right now with trying to pay back my bills for this foot surgery, because that was about 100 and travel and food and everything for that week. It was like 130,000 pesos, which is only what? That was only under 3,000. It was 2,500, something like that, right? US, which is pretty darn cheap, and I'm really happy with all that. And that's why I say you don't need medical insurance. And some private hospitals, most private hospitals, you can pay cash or you can pay credit card. Some private hospitals will take insurance, but it's only a certain kind of insurance. Insurance that you have in the U.S., that's not going to work here. So insurance is a ripoff anyways. They're fleecing you big time. That's the biggest racket there ever was. It's just another ripoff scam that the U.S. is all about. Just like realty brokers and realtors, that the whole thing is a scam too. Scamming people of tons of big money for things that they've paid a mortgage on for their entire lifetime, and then when it comes for them to sell the house, they're paying the broker and the stinking realtor, huge big money for just to sell your house. It's just one of the biggest rackets there ever was. Same thing with the medical industry. Same thing. All the crap that they got going on in the U.S., it's 10 times, 20 times, 30 times the cost there than it is here, or like Malaysia or Indonesia. And there's beautiful modern hospital and medical facilities in the Southeast Asia. Beautiful. And they even they cater to the international clientele, right? And it's like, I just saw a video from one of the expats that I follow. He went to Malaysia to have a bunch of work done, and his wife needed surgery, and it was actually about between 2 and 3 times the cost here in the Philippines to do the same thing, but way better conditions, way better professionals, just as professional as you'd get in the U.S. or any first world country. That's the way it is in Malaysia, but the prices there are 10 times less than the U.S., but it's 2 to 3 times more expensive than the Philippines. But like I say, in the Philippines, they don't have near the equipment, the professionals. You really got to stick on your toes stay on your toes, and everything that they're trying to do to you, any kind of injection they're trying to give you, or any kind of pills they're trying to give you, write it down, stick it on the wall by your bed, and make sure that they're giving it to you in right intervals, exactly according to the doctors, because there's constantly nurses and candy stripers, which is like volunteer helpers, and different kind of doctors and therapists and everything coming into your room constantly trying to jump on your bill so they get paid something. So you really got to keep a good close watch on that. Oh yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, nice. I really want to hear that. Yeah, the kids, teenagers mostly, put those mufflers where they love to make them as loud as possible. That's just one thing you got to get used to in the Philippines. I remember when I was a teenager, got my first sports car, 1970 and a half Firebird Formula 400, right? Bright blaze orange color, ram air scoops on the hood, 400 engine in it, Pontiac engine. And I used to squeal tires and have loud mufflers on it and cruise all over the place with that thing. Had a great time with it when I was a young boy. Or I shouldn't say young boy, young teenager. And I had that probably into my 20s before I got rid of it, and I actually sold it to my brother's wife at the time when I got rid of it. And actually, he hadn't married her yet, but he married her just a couple years after I sold it to her. So that was kind of weird. Anyways, I'll let you guys go. It's been a long one. Me and John are almost done with our walk this morning, and everything's perfect here. The weather's beautiful. The pool is in perfect, clear, crystal clear, pristine condition. The solar is maxed out right now. I'm doing like 10 kW kilowatt hours on that. So that's pretty much maxed out. So I'm banking lots of credits. So everything's good. You want to go inside, John? You want to go inside? Okay. All right. You all take care and God bless. Bye-bye.